I read somewhere that in a lot of the Scandinavian places like Iceland, Sweden, Norway, Denmark, whatnot, whatnot's a country. Find it on Wikipedia, it's a thing. It's part of the Valhalla jurisdiction. That they tend to not be very theistic. They have a very high percentage of atheists, but they also have this overlap with people who believe in fairies. And that makes zero sense until you realize that Greta Thunberg is a person. And a fairy. Like, you tell me she's not a fairy. Prove to me that she's not a fairy. And I'm not here to hate on Greta. Love Greta. I mean, that kid figured out how to ditch school and make it a political science project at the same time. Like, that's brilliant. Brilliant. She tells CEOs, blah, 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 and politicians, all you're doing is blah, 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 blah. And then people applaud and say, she's brilliant, brilliant. And frankly, yes, anthropomorphic climate change, which is the pretentious way to say man-made climate change, is a thing. Like, human beings are contributing to that, increased CO2s, the effects of that and the modeling of that. I'm not going to go there at this juncture, but yeah, not here to hate on her political agenda so much as something else she said, and this has been said before. She said, well, if you have a learning disability, you really have a superpower. Now, Greta says she's autistic. Elon Musk says he's autistic. I think both those people would probably have been identified with the diagnosis of Asperger's, I want to say, but I think that's out of the vogue now, and now it's all lumped in on the spectrum of autism. And I don't believe I'm autistic. I can tell facial expressions. I can tell if a woman is flirting with me if based on the fact that I'm not attracted to her, and that she's not flirting with me if I am attracted to her. So I believe I get social cues. Like I say, I know when people are being sarcastic. I don't take everything literally. I just don't, as socially awkward as I can be, I just don't think I fall on that spectrum, and I am being honest with myself. But I am dyslexic, so I and Greta are sort of a member of that club, and I don't know that dyslexia is a superpower. Like in pop culture, I can't even remember the character's name anymore, but on It's Always Sunny in Charlie on it, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, they've made hints that he's illiterate, and it's because he might be dyslexic. They hint at that idea. Shameless had the Kevin, I think was his name, was the bartender. They kind of hint at that idea too. Both these guys are kind of hapless little, not so much class clowns, but almost village idiots. And that's sort of the trope on dyslexic people, is that we're not that smart because we can't read. And not that I'm offended, whatever. It's a thing. Probably the best presentation in pop culture comes from what is also one of the worst Ben Affleck movies, which says a lot, Pearl Harbor. And his character says he's dyslexic, but he's good with numbers. I'm not Good Will Hunting, dude. I'm about to take some really hard math classes for engineering, and I used to teach algebra, high school algebra, so I'm good enough with numbers. But they say, according to the mathematician Paul, what's his name? I have this up here. I'm cheating. His name is Alan Paulos, some famous PhD in mathematics. That computation is sort of like is to math as typing is to literature. No one thinks that you should write books just because you're good at typing. So I don't know. Maybe I should give myself more credit, but I think the most you could say about dyslexic people is that we're good at connecting the dots, maybe because we unscramble stuff a lot. We really need to work on our marketing as a group, as to letting people know we have a superpower. And honestly, I really just have a premise here in search of a punchline, but yeah, I think I have something there. Like, where's my superpower? Like, it feels like all the other learning disabilities, they got the best superpowers. That's sort of how I feel at this juncture.